One interesting sideline to my work on early Gospels has been my involvement in unmasking a couple of fragments of Gospel material which claim to be old, perhaps going back to the 2nd or even the 1st century. The text of the so-called secret Gospel of Mark, just a section of text, was embedded in a letter from a genuinely historical 2nd century figure, Clement of Alexandria, who was responding to his correspondent's worries about the fact that a version of the Gospel of Mark is being used in his community where some rather surprising things are attributed to Jesus, which imply that Jesus is in various forms of sexual relationship. And this person is concerned about this, and he writes to Clement, and Clement writes back to him, but includes a section of what is supposed to be a secret Gospel of Mark. And this, I think, is now almost universally recognized, is a very clever fake from the 1950s, but it was clever enough actually to deceive a large number of reputable scholars for really quite a long time. The copy that it was alleged had turned up of this was actually copied in a 17th century Greek hand into the back of a book. I have no knowledge of whether this is an authentic 17th century Greek hand or not, but I can interpret the text, and once again all the evidence seems to combine to show that although this is a very clever fake, it has to be a fake. There are some features of it that cannot possibly genuinely date from the 2nd century. So my work in that area, quite unexpectedly, turned out to have very wide public interest. And I think that, as in the case of the secret Gospel of Mark, and perhaps even more so, there is now absolutely universal agreement that this supposedly ancient Gospel fragment, with its somewhat controversial content, is actually a modern product rather than an ancient one, and tells us probably more about modern issues and perceptions rather than ancient ones.